What is the lamest moment from your game series? I'm not being funny, but I love Axel. But when he introduced himself in Kingdom Hearts 2, he's like, the name's Axel.
Got it memorized.
This is Versus, the GameSpot show that pits your favorite games, consoles, franchises, and hot button issues against each other. This week we've got a Square Enix civil war as we pit Kingdom Hearts against Final Fantasy. Fighting for Kingdom Hearts is Lucy James, who actually choked up on multiple occasions during the filming of this video due to the sheer nostalgia of it all.
Legacy!
And arguing the case for Final Fantasy is Tamor Hussein, who imported the Japanese version of Final Fantasy IX and then started learning Japanese just so he could figure out what was going on. Each are going to argue the corner for their game over the course of 3 rounds, with the overall winner being decided by you, the wonderful viewers. Last week's debate to figure out the best Batman Arkham game saw Lucy win with 55% of the vote for her Arkham City argument. But to vote for who you think argue their case better in this episode, we're going to be throwing up a clickable poll right here on YouTube. Right, let's get into the debate.
Hello, Tamor.
Hello.
I see you've come as a member of Final Fantasy XV's boy band.
First of all, what is this personal attack on my appearance? Classic Kingdom Hearts fan, just going for the appearance. Secondly, I was up all night reading about Final Fantasy, and this is what you look like after you do that, Lucy.
Let's begin. Story/characters.
Let's go. The floor is yours, Lucy. Tell us about Kingdom Hearts' story. Tell us in detail about Kingdom Hearts' story. Please make it make sense, because I've played every single one of those games and I don't know what's going on.
It all started a long time ago with the Keyblade Wars. Anyway, no. So, Kingdom Hearts' story. I'm going to begin by acknowledging the faults in that it is, yes, very convoluted. But ultimately, at the core of it, when you're playing Kingdom Hearts, that doesn't really matter, because you can get through the game without really understanding the intricacies of everything. The thing about Kingdom Hearts is, introducing the characters as well, is that they did such a smart thing by not only creating new characters like Sora, Naminé, Kairi, whatever, but they also integrated it with these 2 franchises, well, multiple franchises that people know and love, Final Fantasy and Disney, and that means that they create this story and feature characters that everyone already has an emotional bond with, because you've basically grown up with these characters. And so that's why overall the main story of Kingdom Hearts is like, it's a backdrop, because that's not really why you're there. You're there because you want to recreate childhood by playing around with these characters in these worlds that you know so well. Part of Kingdom Hearts' appeal is it's because it's our generation who played it, and you think about the age we were when we played Kingdom Hearts. You'd play games and you'd be like, I don't care what I'm doing, but all I know is I've got Donald and Goofy by my side and I'm whacking the crap out of some Heartless and I'm saving the princesses of Heart and whatever, and I don't know, I'm just working my way to that final world.
See, story is at the heart of Final Fantasy. It's always been a story-driven series, and because of that, its characters are also incredibly important to the entire franchise. It's like everyone comes to Final Fantasy for the story, and whether you like it or not, every story presents something different and interesting. It's different thematically. It's always trying to tackle some different element of a narrative. Like, for example, 15 is all about like the road trip, the friendship, the coming of age story.
Lads on tour.
You know, 7's all about, you know, eco-terrorism, and
12 is Star Wars.
12 is Star Wars, and it's a great take on Star Wars. Very few franchises out there can take kind of like the framework of Star Wars and the blueprint of Star Wars and spin it in a way that's interesting and good, and that's one of the ones that kind of really sticks out. I don't think that game gets enough love for doing that. No. Every single one always has a clear, defined kind of like narrative thread through it. It might be ridiculous at a time, you might not like it, but it's always clear and understandable, and the characters along the way. I mean, Final Fantasy is responsible for some of gaming's most iconic characters. Characters like Sephiroth, for example. You can take Sephiroth, I'm not going to try this. Cloud, you know, my favorites like Zell in 8 and Squall in 8, and also the enemies as well. Like, I don't want to rag on Kingdom Hearts because I love Kingdom Hearts, but like, the enemies in that, the Heartless, are kind of just like
yeah, but it's not really the Heartless, because you have the Organization 13, but you also have the regular Disney villains, and like I think that to Kingdom Hearts' strength is they use characters like Hades and Maleficent to greater effect, because they are basically ringleaders amongst the other Disney villains.
But the vast majority of times you're not fighting them. You're fighting the squishy black things, and then that's the that's the kind of like end goal. Whereas Final Fantasy, it's got all these iconic characters. I mean, you've got a Final Fantasy character on your mug.
Yeah, we didn't really have anything lying around the office. This is the
So
only
like
thing we
Moogles,
had.
I mean it's not an enemy, Moogles like
a shop.
Behemoth, every aspect of Final Fantasy is heavy on characterization.
Yeah, but in my game, you can summon Chicken Little.
In my game you can summon Knights of the Round. The next topic is gameplay.
Take it away.
Every Final Fantasy game is unique in it's unique, but it also shares a lineage between it. There's always like familiar gameplay touch points like upgrading and that kind of stuff, but each game will provide you something unique to the way you interface with the game. So like 7's known for its materia systems, 8 is known for its flawed but interesting draw system, which I was a big fan of. The gameplay for Final Fantasy, since its beginning, has also defined the way RPGs are played in a lot of ways, to the point where people yearn to play those types of games. We've just had a new release, Octopath Traveler, and the whole shtick, one of the main kind of like selling points of that is it's a classic RPG experience, and it's classic because it leans heavily on Final Fantasy. Within each Final Fantasy game, it's not just an RPG type experience where you're fighting battles. Everyone provides something unique to do as well. Like 7 had a bit where you were like riding a bike, a motorbike. 8 has the card gameplay where you're like basically playing a competitive card game. Most people who create RPGs at some point or another will look at a Final Fantasy game and be like, take inspiration from it. So when it comes to RPGs, there's not really any other franchise that can prove to, or can say that it has gameplay as strong as Final Fantasy.
The gameplay of Kingdom Hearts is, like, people will oversimplify and say it's just button mashing and just like hitting X over and over again, occasionally hitting triangle, and that it can be dumbed down to that. But ultimately, at the same time, it is an RPG. You get upgrade points, you get to unlock new abilities. And the thing that I love about Kingdom Hearts is that it's so mobile and you are constantly on the move. If you're doing things properly, you are like executing these rad combos, you're using your party members, you're moving all around. And I think to Kingdom Hearts credit is the fact that you have all these different worlds, and like I can talk at length about how great it is to be in the worlds, but the way that the worlds influence the gameplay, so you can swap out your party members who each have their own abilities. You have like location specific, like those limit moves, like the awesome huge ones, like depending on your party members, which kind of just mixes things up a bit. Also, you whack people around the face, you have magic, you hit people with a giant key, and you have different drive forms. And then you get 2 keyblades and you're just smacking people with 2 keys and it's rad.
Literally all of that is taken from Final Fantasy.
I know, but now...
Every single element of that is Final Fantasy.
Well, pretty much, but it's like the more, like, now Final Fantasy combat is basically becoming Kingdom Hearts. Now with 15, it's way more like Kingdom Hearts.
It feels a lot more like Kingdom Hearts, but the DNA of both games is strongly still Final Fantasy though.
Yeah, no, completely.
Yeah. But it's good to see them finally coming together, bringing the audiences together, and hopefully they kind of benefit from each other. 15 certainly, combat certainly benefited from being a little more like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, both the DNA is super, super Final Fantasy, but I think in some regards I prefer the more action, like havoc in Kingdom Hearts.
Very conveniently left out the gummy ship there, didn't we?
Well, I'm afraid we're out of time. Legacy.
Let's go.
So I think Kingdom Hearts, like, remember when Marvel were like, Avengers Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover event in movie history? Kingdom Hearts is certainly probably one of the most ambitious crossover events. Literally, the story about how Kingdom Hearts happened is that Nomura-san was playing Super Mario Sunshine, and he was like, oh, I'm really inspired by this movement. I'd love to make a game of this. We haven't really got a character who's as famous as Mario, but Mickey Mouse would be good. And then it turns out Disney and Square Enix were in the same building. A Disney exec and a Square exec were in the same lift.
They kissed.
And they pitched the idea, and it was a literal elevator pitch. That is a crossover event that, like, one in however many million things that would happen, let alone for the games to actually exist. And for it all to kind of just work together so well and to explore these Disney properties in a new way with a new overarching storyline that's not the same thing that we've seen over and over again in Disney movies, and for a new spin on it, I kind of like that. And the thing is, it's like, by the time 3 comes out, it'll have been 13 years. And the fact that the fans are so passionate about it, like that can't be, like people are still so incredibly passionate about games. Legacy of Kingdom Hearts is Legacy of Kingdom Hearts. No, the legacy of Kingdom Hearts is they made games that were so good and so special to so many people that these people haven't been able to let go of that and are still so passionate about it years and years later. And we both are, like, and it's a kind of very special thing that they managed to do.
I agree with all that, and it's very much echoed by Final Fantasy. Like the legacy of Final Fantasy is the legacy of RPG gaming. Like it's helped, like I said before, it's helped define RPGs. It helped bring people to RPGs that may not have before. It's defined console generations. Square Enix going to PlayStation, for example, from Nintendo. That was a huge deal. And it was business considerations that ultimately made that happen with the CD versus the cartridge. But still, that was massive, and like in a lot of ways, Final Fantasy is what pushed PlayStation to success. Each of those games, the legacy is like far-reaching, and like you said, music. Like, Yoko Shimomura has done amazing work in all of Square Enix's games. Like similarly, Uematsu-san, he's created some of the most iconic, memorable video game music, whether it's, you know, the Prelude theme from Final Fantasy, the series, or like One Winged Angel. Again, like I don't mean this in a way to be like, oh, Kingdom Hearts. There's a reason why Kingdom Hearts until this point has relied so heavily on Final Fantasy for its kind of like star characters. There's a reason why when we were in an interview with Nomura-san, we said where the Final Fantasy characters are, and he said, man, people really want Final Fantasy characters.
Is that not a way though that you think that Kingdom Hearts is maybe moving away from Final Fantasy now?
Yeah,
because it feels like it's big enough.
It is, and I'm glad it's doing that now. I'm glad it's not relying on that, but I'm also kind of sad that they're not in there. Those appearances were some of my favorite moments, but like the legacy of Final Fantasy is like indisputable. It's far-reaching, it's critical to gaming's history, and it probably will be to its future for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Let us know who you think won the debate by voting in our poll at the top right corner of the video, or if you're over on GameSpot.com by putting your thoughts in the comments section below. It'll be your votes that decide who wins, so make yourselves heard. Right, time for this week's quickfire round, a series of dumb, fun questions written by the rest of the UK team. Let's see how Tam and Lucy get on.
Ladies first.
Thank you.
Who would win in a fight between Mickey and Cloud Strife? Cloud Strife has the Buster Sword, which is a...
How does he even wield that?
Look at his frame.
How is he going to be able to hit Mickey with that? Because Mickey is so quick and nimble, he'll be able to just dodge and run rings around him.
He is great. He'd use slow.
No.
He'd cast slow.
No.
I've solved it. He'd cast slow on Mickey, opening, slow, or even stop. He'd cast stop. And then Buster Sword to the face. Mickey is dead.
What is the lamest moment from your game series? I'm not being funny, but I love Axel. But when he introduced himself in Kingdom Hearts 2, he's like, the name's Axel.
Got it memorized.
I think for mine, it's obvious. Ha 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 ha.
It's more like a ha 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 ha. There's a keyblade and a gun blade. But what would your blade be?
Vape blade.
You would totally have a vape blade.
I would love a vape blade. Like, yeah, it'd be like on the hilt. Vape. Explain Kingdom Hearts the story in one sentence.
The ultimate battle of light versus dark.
That doesn't even begin to explain that story at all.
What would you say?
No, it's not possible. What character from your game would you most like to have dinner with? Oh.
Axel.
Got it memorized.
Like, do I want to go on a romantic dinner? Do I want to go on a bro dinner?
Okay, do romantic dinner, because that's what I've gone for.
Romantic dinner, I would pick Quistis.
Quistis?
Yeah. She's in education, so she's smart. She's the interesting conversation. She is totally got that hot teacher vibe going on. She's got a whip.
Oh God. I'm declaring this round.
Remember to get your voice heard in our poll or in the comments section below and tell us who you think argued their case better. And if you enjoyed this episode of Versus, make sure to hit that subscribe button, as we'll have new episodes of the show every Wednesday. Thanks for watching. See